So earlier I mentioned that there was something that I wanted to share specifically about today. I guess just the excitement of being here is really nice, to finally come on board. Circumstances in my life have allowed me to be here now, so I'm pretty excited about that. It's something that I've been pondering, thinking of doing, and I'm excited. I'm excited because there's a lot I want to share, but I don't want to, obviously overwhelm, and I want to make sure that things are flowing naturally and in the right alignment at the right time. With that being said, what's coming through today is, no matter what we're going through in life, we can choose our emotions, we can choose our feelings, we can choose our frequency. And that in itself shapes so much for us. Life, it is wonderful, it is beautiful. No matter what you go through in life, no matter what, we can choose how we want to feel and how we will react or respond, or what type of presence we want to bring into the room. And whenever you're faced with what you might call a trigger, or trials, or tribulations, those are the moments, those are the tests that come and face you to test and see what you're really made of, right? They say, see what you're made of. It's testing to see, have you applied what you've been working on up here? Can you actively make that happen? Can you verbally make that happen? Can you energetically make that happen? Can you prove to yourself and to God, right? Or to others, but mostly it's about you and your relationship with God and yourself. Can you prove that you've been making application? And then we might say no, or yes. There's always room for improvement, right? We know that. Because as our consciousness continually expands and grows and develops, and that's the beauty of life. So the thing is this, my circumstances have changed because now I'm no longer working full-time with my corporate job. I'm actually kind of, God works in mysterious ways, right? I'm a full-time caretaker for my father, and it was pretty rough. Life's been rough, but at the same time, I really do believe that when we just go with his flow, life can be a lot easier. And sometimes there's a certain path that he might want us to go down that we may have been holding off, such as myself, such as certain creative avenues, artistic avenues, and infusing that with spirituality and appreciation and expression. And now, with the circumstances, as unfortunate as they are, I'm able to have time to get back into that flow. And so for that, I'm very grateful. And to be able to see, people that are in very stressful, difficult, trying situations, like my father, even myself, my family, others, how we lean on each other, how we help one another through those times. It really shows us how much we've been allowing the fruitage of the Spirit to glow. A glow with the Spirit, right? Are we seeing that? And sometimes we want to see it more fully. Sometimes we want to develop more fully, because it's a development. You plant a seed in the ground, it doesn't mean it's complete, right? It takes time to grow. It takes time to flourish and expand. And so it's the same thing. God plants this beautiful garden of a relationship between us and him on an individual level. And so a lot of that does depend on us. God does make it grow, but it's our choice how much we want him to help us. So we'll get into that a little bit later, but I didn't want to forget sharing that message. So I hope that if you guys are going through really trying times, which I'm sure many of us are, I'd love to hear what you're doing to help yourself to cope through that. And what are some moments that you felt proud of yourself? when maybe you were triggered. I'd love to hear it.